Hello and welcome back to Spirit Hunter's Infinite Horde. Okay, I know. Previous video, I said, hey, you know what? They need to do a couple of things on this game, you know? They need to change the hitboxes around a little bit, make sure that they're a little bit tighter so you don't feel like you're getting hit randomly by things. And also, you know, making it so that all of the weapon types and various skills you can get are all relatively OP when you get the best combinations, you know, that sort of thing. I wanted to make it so that they were all buffed rather than being nerfed and so on and so forth. Now here's the thing, I've been playing this game a huge amount. Anytime I have a spare moment, I think to myself, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna have a run on this and I'm gonna see how I do, because the 15-minute time limit really does give you a nice, I don't know, it's just a nice little break that you can have, you know. You can just pick it up anytime and then you can have a good old go on it and see how well you do. Anyway, as you can see, I've actually been doing quite a bit on this. I have expanded my divinity web, which is what the skill tree is called, out to a pretty significant level. I've also started playing on hard mode levels, and that was obviously something that I didn't show you before. What I showed you before was very, shall we say, very preliminary, very early on in me playing the game, and I didn't really do very well in general, so I was just like, yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can do it better this time around. So yeah, there's this new currency that I've now been able to unlock, and what you can do is you can get this this little currency exchange perk slash skill, and then it enables these two buttons on the right of the screen. And now I want to comment on this, and I want to say that this, in my opinion, is really, I don't think this is good. I think this 1,000 for one. I mean, I have only 3,000 of these things, so I can literally get 3 of these tokens. I mean, I personally think that's way too expensive, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But whatever the case, there's a bunch of extra skills that you can upgrade over here. I actually want to try and unlock, what is it now? Oh no, I've lost it. There we go. I want to unlock this. So what I need to do is I need to get 8 more of these currency pieces, these resources, and then I can get this, and then I can unlock this node over here, and I have no idea what that node does, but I can only hope that it gives you more hero damage or whatever. Anyway, I've unlocked Maxine. I don't know whether I showed you her beforehand, but I unlocked her, and she's actually really fun to play as. She is really fragile. She has only 65 HP. Her health is reduced by 75%, so you're gonna die very, very fast with her. But for the early levels, for something, you know, if you're playing on normal difficulty and you don't have to worry so much about enemies absolutely murdering you, then you can pretty much just play with any of the heroes and they're absolutely fine. I have found that, you know, I can revise my my statements now because I'm a little bit more experienced with the game. If you'd like to check it out, by the way, it's very affordable. There is a link in the description. But yeah, generally, I have been playing as Vivian quite a bit more, and I have found her to be actually quite fun. And so I'm going to be playing as her. I think Conrad is absolutely fantastic, by the way, but he is a bit too slow, at least for my liking. So I'm going to be playing as Vivian, and I'm going to be playing on the higher difficulty challenge level. And this is the only challenge level that I have gained in any of the levels. I haven't gained the second difficulty level on any of the others. So we're going to be playing on Desert. Now, it gets very, very hectic, very, very fast, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm even going to be able to survive. It very much depends on what you can gain in the amount of time that you have before you get absolutely clobbered by enemies. So let's see if I can actually make this work. Grand Hex is absolutely fantastic. I talked about this in the previous video of this game, and I really love it. I think Grand Hex is one of the best skills, and it really makes a huge difference to your overall, well, just generally to your overall success rate, in my opinion. It's just so good, or at least I think it is. And we're going to continue taking that. Every time you level up, you get a small knockback, which can be used strategically to make it so that you don't get cornered or anything like that, which can actually be very, very useful. Now, otherwise, apart from that, what am I taking? Well, I'm taking Bone Shot. Bone Shot, in my opinion, is one of the best boss killing abilities that the game currently has. It used to be Arrow. I think Arrow is still good, but I would definitely say that Bone Shot is, I would say it's better. I would say that Bone Shot is better, just because you don't need to aim it. It's just going in a vertical line, and you don't need to worry about, you know, which way you're facing or anything like that, so you can more accurately avoid damage and so on. So it really makes a huge difference to your overall success of avoiding damage and you know, generally just staying alive, you know, because as Vivian, I am going to need to stay alive quite a bit more than with Conrad. Conrad has a huge amount of leniency. You can pretty much just take damage with Conrad and you don't have to worry about it. You know, you can pretty much just be like, oh, I took damage? Oh, I barely felt it. You know, because Conrad is just so incredibly tanky. He's a lot of fun to play with as a result of that, but he is very slow. So if you're wanting to avoid damage, good luck, because it's going to be very difficult to do that unless you have the pet that increases your speed. And even if you do have the pet, it's unlikely it's going to be giving you that much movement speed unless you get multiple ranks of it, and it's very, very unlikely that you're going to get multiple ranks that quickly. But yeah, anyway, the point is, Conrad's really, really fun, and I would highly recommend playing as him if you have trouble staying alive in the game. I know I did. You know, I kind of learned how to sort of deal with a lot of the enemies just by playing as Conrad, but obviously you've got to be a bit careful with him as well, because you really cannot get yourself in a situation where you're just going to get surrounded and killed, because that can happen quite a lot as well if you don't have a way to clear your waves really, really fast. For example, with Grand Hex, then you're going to have difficulties. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to be speccing into a lot of Orbital Fire in this run as well. I have found that Orbital Fire is surprisingly strong. Amazingly enough, I'm actually really surprised that it is this strong, but it is. It's actually really, really good. And I didn't think it was before. So it's pretty cool that I've been able to sort of learn a bit more about the game and revise my opinion on a number of things. So what I'm basically doing right now is upgrading my Grand Hex damage and its area a little bit. And I'm also upgrading my Bone Shot damage, because I want to get my Bone Shot damage to about 10. And I want to decrease its cooldown as much as I possibly can. I want to get it to about 0.35 seconds. So in other words, I want to get it attacking really, really fast, basically. We're also going to try and increase my Orbital Fire's radius to a pretty significant amount, but not too much. Going to increase its speed too. That's always good. And we are doing massive amounts of damage right now with Grand Hex. It's absolutely amazing. We're gaining so many levels so fast. It's really, really good. Gonna increase Bone Shot, I think, again there. And yeah, so here's the thing. These green seaweed type things, yeah, they were giving me problems with Conrad, you see, because I wasn't actually taking Grand Hex, and I wasn't taking its damage upgrade. And I found that if I took Grand Hex and I increased its damage, I had so much more success rate. It's actually insane how good Grand Hex is, because if you increase its damage to about 25 or 30, you can kill those green seaweed things in one hit. So when you're actually, you know, surrounded on all sides by these things, you can use Grand Hex and then you're going to get out instantly. So you don't need to worry about it, you know? You can basically just walk out. And that's what I found to be pretty advantageous. It's basically required, pretty much, for being able to survive at that point without taking a significant amount of damage. Obviously, I'm taking a lot of damage right now, but that is just how it is, you know? You just kind of have to take damage in this particular mode. The more challenging modes, they increase enemy speed. They They increase enemy damage, enemy health. I'm actually not sure about the damage, actually. I think they increase the enemy health at the very least, as well as the speed, but I'm not sure about damage, so don't quote me on that. But whatever the case, we're just going to be taking all of this. Thank you very much. Get all those tornadoes dead. And Grand Hex also has this wonderful side effect of stunning. It stuns everything, it doesn't kill, which is actually amazing. So whenever you have the ability to you know, hit someone with this, try to draw them into it, especially a boss, because if you can get a boss stunned, then you can pretty much stun lock it, because Bone Shot also has a stunning effect, which is actually kind of amazing. So yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So this amount of synergy that I have going on here with my current build seems to be working really well for me. And this is just something that I thought, hey, you know what, maybe you're going to be interested in that. Maybe you're going to be interested in it. Maybe you're playing the game as well. Maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what, I'd like to try a different build today or whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to continue increasing Orbital Fire and its speed. As you can see, its rotation is now very significantly fast, which is really nice to see. And we're going to start increasing, or should we say decreasing, my Grand Hex's cooldown. So we can start bombarding on a much greater scale. And let's do cooldown rate of Bone Shot. There we go. It's now firing super fast, which is really nice to see. Let's actually get going down here. Don't want to take damage from the boss, thank you very much. Look at that, it's at 0.25. My Bone Shot is at 0.25 right now. So it is attacking so fast. It just melts bosses at this point. And boom, there you go, look at that. And I haven't even increased Bone Shot by a significant amount either. I'm just going to be increasing it to around 10 damage, like I said before. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, doesn't really matter. As long as you can get its cooldown reduced as far as you possibly can, you're going to have a very easy time of things. And I'm going to increase Orbital Fire once again as well, so we can get a little bit more radius on that. And that's the thing. With Orbital Fire, what I've noticed is that if you actually take attack size, but don't take the speed of its rotation, it's going to take even longer to get around you, because obviously it does. You know, that's the kind of thing that it does, right? It's, you know, obviously if something is larger in its rotation, it's going to take longer to get around unless you increase its speed relative to its size, around, you know, orbiting around the central body, whatever that might be. So of course it's going to take longer, right? So that's what I found, and I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I'm going to focus on speed instead. I'm going to focus on speed with Orbital Fire, and it seems to be doing massively well. It seems to be doing great. I mean, I personally feel like it seems to be doing very, very nicely. But one thing you should know, though, the boss at the end of the level, I haven't killed it yet on this difficulty. Just so you know, I haven't killed it yet, and it's highly unlikely that I will be able to kill it. It's highly unlikely. I don't think I will be able to, because what happens, and this is something that the developers have actually talked about as well, and they're probably going to be changing this. They said that they are probably going to be removing the enclosure. So for example, when you first start fighting a boss, there's a big cage that is around you, and it gradually gets you know, tighter and tighter until you basically can't move, and then it instantly kills you, or at least that's what I have encountered in the past. So what they're going to do is they're going to remove that. They're going to remove the enclosure, the cage, whatever you want to call it, and they're going to make it so that you can fight the boss on your own terms in as long a time as you want to take. So if you can kill the boss, then you're not going to get killed ahead of schedule, so to speak. So you're basically going to be given the freedom to pit your skill against the boss's overwhelming power, pretty much. And I think that that's actually a really nice change. I like that a whole deal. And there's a massive content patch coming as well, by the way, for the game, because I know that I said, you know, in the previous video I said, yeah, I'd love to see, you know, hitboxes, I like to see you know, various, you know, buffs happening for these kinds of weapons and so on and so forth. And yeah, I think they're definitely working on that. It seems like they are working on it at the very least. It's going to be a big content patch, and they're going to be bringing out a new weapon, new hero, you know, all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And because this is one of the games that I play in my spare time when I basically just You know, I just want to have, as I say, as I said at the beginning, I just want to have a fun time. Yeah, I'll basically just boot up Spirit Hunters and I'll be like, yeah, let's just play and see what I can do. Let's see what kind of interesting builds I have available to me today. Maybe I feel like I've tried an arrow build just before recording this, and I did not like it one bit. I did not like it, and it's actually strange because I liked arrow beforehand, but I think the cooldown that it has now is just way too long, and the upgrades that you get are not good enough, in my opinion, to actually give you the I don't know, it doesn't give you that feeling of rapid fire machine gun kind of really cool feeling of being able to kill enemies really fast. It doesn't give you that anymore, where it used to, you see. So yeah, that's actually something to bear in mind about that. Anyway, let's just go for a little bit more critical with my bone shot. We do have many mini bosses, because obviously this is the higher difficulty, so mini bosses tend to appear in packs this time, so they're not going to appear one at a time, and they're not going to be staggered or anything like that, so it is significantly more difficult. And so you do need to be very careful about how you build your character and stuff like that, so you don't get overwhelmed too easily. He says as he almost gets overwhelmed too easily. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna have to go into that shop in just a second. I've destroyed one of the bosses, that's good. Let me see if I can... I want this. Okay, there we go. Okay, Grand Hex, yes, right on top of me, that's fantastic. Oh yeah, there we go, we killed that. And now we can also loot the next chest. Great, look at that. And now let's go into the merchant. Go, 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 go. Yeah, there we go. Phew, all right. Now I get a little bit of a break while we decide what we want to buy. I have 670 gold, and I can buy a 20 stack of crystals. I personally don't get it. That's the thing. Crystals are always going to be useful, but I personally feel like, I don't know, I don't really like getting them. I prefer getting the drilling increase or the digging for loot pet. Obviously, this is all randomized, but I'm going to get both of these. And then we're just gonna, well, I'm actually not gonna buy any hearts either, because I'm almost at, well, I'm at full HP, so I don't really need that. Anyway, there we go. We've got 2 pets now. All right, so we've got 2 more bosses coming. I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna be, because as far as I'm aware, they are randomized. We're gonna increase our orbital fire radius as well. And then we're just going to continue doing our thing. These little beetle things, they are very difficult to deal with. And in the final push for the game to try and kill you, they are going to spawn a lot of the armored variant of the beetles. It's going to be very difficult for us to kill them without actually getting murdered ourselves. So I'm very much hoping I have enough damage to be able to burn through them. Because if I don't, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to die instantly, because they will very quickly surround you, and it's going to be, it's going to be very difficult to move at that point too. So we can only hope. We can only hope, eh? So let me see what I can do here. Maybe we can just try and loot a couple more of these. Okay, this is the boss. This is actually a really nice boss for farming experience from, because he spawns these little eyeballs. And if you kill the eyeballs really, really fast, because obviously they die in one hit, then you can get a massive amount of experience from them. So that's actually super nice. Can we kill this guy? My bone shot is doing so much damage. I mean, look at that. Boom. He is now dead. And now we can loot the chest. That's going to push back all the enemies around us. We can loot all of his tokens. That's always nice. There's another treasure chest up here as well, which I would like to loot, because there's more resources in there. So let me see if I can just do that. What else do we have? Let's go for some more bone shot damage. And now, here's the thing. At the very end, the boss is going to have around 8,000 HP. I think that might be a bit too much, but it is going to have that much, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it with this build. I have been quite lucky with my cooldown of Grand Hex, so I might have the ability to do enough damage. But I really don't know. As I say, I've gotten to the final boss, I think 4 or 5 times maybe, and I've actually done quite well to do so. each time with a pretty decent build at that, but I don't think I have enough single target damage, possibly, so I might need to spec a bit more into bone shot or something like that in the future, but I'm not sure. I'm getting murdered by this boss at the moment. Let me go for some more critical chance. Wow, he's dead. Do you see that? He just evaporated. He literally just evaporated right there. I'm gonna go for a critical on Grand Hex here. Usually I don't take critical because I don't really like relying on percentage chances, because usually that's not a good way to go, because you want, you know, damage that is going to be, you know, there for you when you want it. But sometimes getting that extra little bit of critical might actually save you in those cases, because you might get a critical and then just absolutely burst down whoever it is attempting to attack you. So, you know, that might be something to consider. Otherwise, let's just try and find some more chests. We do need to try and do that. Vivian actually gives you so much opportunity to gain experience as well, because you have the extra magnet power, because magnet draws these soul orbs towards you and from a further distance, so you actually don't need to go as close. And that is actually what I was finding was the problem with heroes like Conrad, because I wouldn't be able to move too close to the enemies, and as a result I would take damage unnecessarily, whereas Vivian actually doesn't need to do that, which is actually super cool. So that's partially the reason why I switched to playing as Vivian, because the magnet power is just so incredibly useful. Okay, now this is when things are going to start to get very, very hectic. And we're going to need to do this. We're going to need to basically go wherever our Grand Hex says we should. Pretty much. That's it. Just go wherever your Grand Hex says and you should be fine. But obviously I do have some pretty significant cooldown on Grand Hex at the moment, so that might also be the reason why I'm able to do this so easily. But yeah, it's a bit touch and go at the moment anyway. Not sure if I'm going to be able to survive this. Yeah, I think I'm going to die, actually. I think I might. Yep. Yeah, see, now, here's the thing. In my previous run... I think I'm dead. I think I am dead, actually. In my previous run, I had... I'm going to run down here, actually. Okay. Yep. I had a pet that had a 35% chance to give me a heart every 10 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty significant. So I pretty much ended up with almost full HP when the boss came, and I don't have that pet this time around. So I am now in a situation where we are in pretty dire straits, I think. Oh, this is bad. Grand Hex is helping. Grand Hex is really helping me right now, but I am stuck. See, now, here's the thing. Bone Shot, I don't know whether you could... well, I think I did tell you, but Bone Shot actually does have a component of stun. So, if you can hit enemies with Bone Shot just before they hit you, you can stun them and then theoretically walk by them without taking any damage. Okay, here's the enemy. It has 6,500 HP. I'm really worried about this. You've got to be very careful. Oh, I see now, that's the thing. I don't have enough speed. I don't have enough speed to be able to avoid its attack. I don't think. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do about that. See now, if I had more space, then I could probably do okay and probably whittle it down. But I just didn't have enough HP to begin with anyway, and I did get hit twice by its frontal attack, which is obviously awful. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, we gained a massive amount of resources right here. Runes, crystals, and the new resource as well. And we can finally get that upgrade. You've performed very well, says the Oracle. Yes, sometimes she really annoys me because she does say some very condescending things when I've died in the first 10 seconds of the level. But anyway, let's go and increase our damage. And now we have the ability to unlock the Shuriken ability. Fantastic, finally. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted to get a long time ago, but I wasn't able to. And now we have the ability to take these and upgrade this. Oh yes, let's upgrade this all the way. Boom. Look at that. Shadow Shuriken, because I was actually trying to unlock this way before, but you can see here I actually needed to fight Blade Banshees, but unfortunately I haven't fought any of those for some reason. Not entirely sure why not, but apparently I hadn't. And also we have these ones as well, which are Dead Banshees. I've killed a bunch of these already, but I of course haven't killed enough of them. So now we have the ability to use Shuriken, which is this. Kills with, oh well, technically this is on Vivian, but you can basically see exactly what it's all about. So a shuriken has high critical hit chance. Throw a line of fast, razor-sharp shurikens. This is actually the first time I've seen this. You don't get any starting synergy with Magnus. I assume they just haven't implemented that just yet. But, you know what? I actually am a bit interested to see. I'm gonna go for Darkmoon Grove because I actually want to kill more of those banshees. Because if you double up on, your upgrades in the divinity tree, you can actually get multiplicative bonuses, pretty much. So if you do that, then you're going to be able to get even more power out of a particular weapon. I'm actually not entirely sure. Where does the shuriken aim? Is it aiming where I face, or is it... No, it's just firing in a random direction, by the looks of things. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. It doesn't seem to have any splash damage either. I'm a little bit worried about that, actually. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm gonna have to do some testing with this in my free time, obviously. Oh, the cooldown rate is massive. 5.6 seconds on this thing. That's pretty crazy in itself. Yeah, but this is Maxine. I really like her for gathering resources, especially on the desert map, because if you play on a lower difficulty, you don't really need to worry so much about your survivability, because you can just run around enemies a little bit easier, especially on the desert map. Not on this one. Not on this one. This one is very, very difficult for me. I haven't done this level that much. We're just going to be taking all the upgrades for the shuriken here. And you can see here that I'm already getting clobbered and dead, you see? So it's very difficult to play on this map as Maxine. I think Maxine has an inherent disadvantage to playing on this map, because you're just immediately jumped on by a lot of different enemies. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to continue playing Spirit Hunters whenever I have a spare moment, of course. And if you too would like to join me in dying very quickly against the infinite horde, then there is a link in the description. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.